one of the things that I think halts people from letting go and moving on from an ex or a situation with someone is when you're trying to let go, or when people around you are saying, okay, you've really got to let this go now, or you'll find someone else, and all of these things that actually shame that part of you that still hopes that it works out, that still wants this person. And this was a really interesting conversation that we had in the Conscious Creators Masters Academy about how powerful it is to actually let yourself still have that part of you that wants this person, that wants it to be better, that wants there to be a transformation. Because even though you can see things that were toxic, things that didn't work, things that were really difficult to live with about this person, needs not being met, even though you can see all of those things, it doesn't help us when we try to box ourselves and our feelings into one particular place, because the fact is that in reality, many things can exist at the same time. So it's okay for you to hold space for the part of you that really hopes that this person is the one, and really hopes that this person turns around and has a realization, really loves this person. So let's just have a little moment to acknowledge that that's okay for you to have wanted that, and for you to maybe still want that, at the same time as having the bravery and the courage to admit that something wasn't working for you, and that this isn't right. The way that things were, it wouldn't have worked that way. So both things can exist. And I think it's really healing to not shame that part of you. You know, because I'm all for transformation. I'm all for believing in miraculous transformations of people. I mean, I've seen it, I've witnessed it, I've experienced it. But also, I think what helps towards those transformations is allowing space for yourself, and especially for the other person, and to just accept reality as it is right now. So the reality is that it wasn't working, that you were feeling neglected, you were feeling not chosen. That doesn't work for you, and it never will. And yet at the same time, there's a reality, there's a version of this situation that you can experience in your mind where it did, where it could have. Like I said in the previous video, you were the holder of the vision. And that's a big weight to carry. You were carrying all the want, all the hope, all the clarity about how this could maybe work, the healing that needed to be done. And there were blind spots as well, but you were willing to admit that, right? You were willing to take responsibility for the areas where you didn't know your part. Yeah. So I think actually, if we maybe just do a little visualization, I'm kind of just going to make this up on the spot, so just bear with me. But if you kind of get really grounded and just maybe close your eyes, and I want you to imagine that let's say you're in a place that feels calm, that feels peaceful. Maybe there is a river, maybe it's a beautiful walkway, maybe it's in your house. And this person that you had wanted the relationship to work with is standing near to you. Maybe they're a few steps away, but they're near you and they're looking at you. And I want you to notice the weight of the want. I want you to notice the weight that you're carrying, as if you're actually holding it. So let's say this weight starts to come out of you, and it could be in the form of water, it could be in the form of like just air or whatever. But you notice, oh gosh, this is so heavy. This is so heavy, and you're holding it like a baby. Okay. You're holding this want, This energy of this want, like a baby, it's coming out of you now. And as you're holding it, you walk over to this person carrying the weight of this want for this relationship to work, for them to work on themselves, for them to do the work, for you to work on this together. The vision that you've been holding and carrying and dragging up the hill for so long. And you walk over to them and you put the want down in front of them. Maybe you only put a portion of the want down in front of them, as if to say, this isn't all mine to carry. I need to give you some of this now. So just notice how that feels when you do that. People are going to have different reactions to this, because for some people this might feel like a relief. Maybe part of you actually wants to put all of the want down. That's fine too, because often we don't get anywhere from wanting something. We get places when we already know we have it. So if you want to put all of the want down, that's fine. If you want to put part of it down and give some of it to them and keep some of it for you, that's fine, because that's healthy too. But notice what feels energetically right for you to do, because there may be actually part of you that is scared to give this person the want that you have been holding, carrying, protecting for so long. So notice, do you want to give them this want? Do you want to give them this hope? Do you trust them with it? And if you don't, what I want you to do is just throw the want into the universe and say, I'm handing it over to you. I'm handing it over now. Because I can't hold it on my own. I don't trust this person to hold it on his own or her own. So I'm going to throw it up to the universe and now watch it. Maybe you're watching it like air or like smoke or like fairy dust. How does it look to you? But notice that you're surrendering, and now notice how you feel in your body, having released that. And now notice how you feel about the connection, having handed over that want. See, this exercise is an experience in the choice that you have in what to do with this energy that you've been carrying around. And it's also okay if you want to keep some of that want, because actually there's part of you that doesn't want to let it go. You want to keep it because you want to protect it. And that's an illusion, isn't it? Because you're holding on to what you don't want, in a way. The wanting is never going to get us what we want. We think that we won't get something that we want if we keep holding on to it, but actually we often get things that we want when we've surrendered without trying to figure it out. So let it be, whatever your experience was of this exercise, that's okay. It was supposed to be that way, and that's right, you know? And so the whole point of this video was really to help you, to show you your power in releasing the want, but also to let you see that it's okay if you still want it. You know, that's part of you that you need to honour, otherwise we're gaslighting ourselves, and we don't want to be doing that any more than the people around us have done for our whole lives, right? The thing is that what tends to happen when we allow ourselves to feel what we feel is that those feelings naturally evolve. What we resist persists. So if you're thinking, I need to let go of this person, I need to move on, I shouldn't be feeling like this, which is often what the people around us will really unintentionally make us feel. But that creates resistance, and then we shame ourselves, and then the feeling gets bigger, and then we're disapproving of ourselves, and so we're not actually healing. We're really betraying that part of us that just wants to be seen, wants to be loved. And often that part of you that still wants this person is really a call for you to see something in yourself that you're trying to get from out there. And the only way that you're ever going to be alerted to this pain that you're trying to outsource the remedy for out there is by experiencing the pain, the longing, the hope, the discomfort. So all of these wants, which equal lack in the dictionary, want equals lack, not having something. All of these painful emotions, they are there to teach us something about ourselves, which will help us evolve, which will help us grow, which will help us to get to the way and the feelings and the place that we want to be and the connections that we want to have in our relationships. So rather than shaming yourself for wanting what you want and feeling what you feel, the best thing you can do in order to move forward is allow yourself to want what you want. And I should just be really clear on this. This doesn't mean that you ignore the things that were wrong. It doesn't mean that you betray yourself more. It just means that you hold space for the part of you that would love things to be different. That's okay. You know, we get into trouble where we only follow that bit and we ignore all the things that are really hurting us, and we only focus on that want, which is often coming from childhood. It's coming from a need to be seen, a need to be validated, outdated coping mechanisms that we learned in childhood in order to be seen, the only way that we knew how, right? So we're unlearning those things now. But in seeing your desire, in seeing your want, you're starting to show up for yourself. You're starting to say, hey, it's okay that you feel like that. You know, like when a parent has to soothe a child because they didn't get the toy that they wanted, they didn't get to go to the place that they wanted to go. You know, instead of going, come on, we're going now, you'll be fine, we'll have a nice time at this other place and you can have another toy a different day. Like, you know, don't cry, basically. Sort it out, we're going to have a nice time somewhere else and you'll be fine. When a parent does that, it gaslights the experience. But when a parent goes, I'm so sorry, I know that you really wanted that, I know you feel sad, I know you feel hurt, I'm here for you, I'm here for you. Now we're going to go together and I'll be with you while we experience these feelings, and I'm with you the whole time. That's a whole different experience for a child, and we didn't get that. I mean, who got that? Who had parents that held the space for that kind of thing? Often that didn't happen because, you know, this conversation wasn't really being had, and now it is. And so we can start to reparent ourselves in that way, and allowing yourself to feel what you feel, holding space for it and acknowledging the hurt at the same time is really powerful. As long as it wants to be there, you're allowed to want what you want. So I hope you found this video interesting, and let me know what your experience was of this. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.